And we're back. What's up, everybody? Benja Welldone coming at you live on this beautiful Corona-free day. Today is Saturday, July the 9th at 6:06 in the afternoon. How are you doing? Double check that. I know it. Just got to see it. Yeah, I was right. So, you know, I always wonder when people do podcasts or listen for podcasts. Maybe not always. I'm very exact on everything that I say. But anyway, why people listen. And if you haven't already known, this whole thing that I do is unlike what other people do, because mine is actually my journey. It's working through, on my way, becoming a professional comedian. And I think it really has a certain interesting dynamic, because if you want kind of like chapters in a book, so to speak, to see my angst towards others, me climbing the ladder, so to speak, you should definitely listen to this, because I say a lot of, I think, informative stuff that would help a lot of people in their personal lives, but that's not what it's about. I'm a really open guy, and I'm huge into self-improvement. You know, like, I hate going to bed because it's just less hours and minutes in my day that I can do something, which is why I've always said that I'm so big into you know, setting my alarm at like 4:02 in the morning, even on weekends, because I really have two parts of my day, and you do too if you think about it. If you have something you're passionate about, you can drive towards it more if you cut out more hours before your work and then more hours after. I'm not saying go to bed later, okay? But maybe start earlier after you get home. You know, after every day of my day job, it probably takes me between, like, I measure it, believe it or not, between like 30 minutes to an hour before I feel like decompressed. Because in comedy, I'm coming up with new stuff. I got to have like a fresh mind. I got to be, you know, on point. So when I look at stuff, or I criticize myself, or I see something that's good or whatever, I know what's good or whatever, or not that great. But yeah, man, so that's what this whole channel is about. This whole podcast is about. It's pretty much just about me, my growth, and on my way to becoming a professional comedian. It's my passion, that and jiu-jitsu. That's it. That's where I'm done. I kind of feel like passions in a lot of ways are exactly like good friends, okay, or best friends, the best of best friends. Me personally, I would rather have less friends that I care more about than more friends that I care less about. You kind of feel what I'm saying? So, this whole last week, you know, I'm not even trying to get booked right now, to be honest with you. I'm really working on learning the business a lot more, and I'm becoming a lot better, a lot smarter, a lot sharper and everything. Because very soon, I'm going to be having my own comedy shows where I'm hosting it, and I am the master of ceremonies, and I'm headlining, and I'm doing all this great stuff. But I have more than enough material that I can run with. But not just that, my biggest goal by the end of the year is to have a solid hour, and to have it memorized. And then next year, really perfect it. I mean, really, really perfect it. Just a side note, there's a little added information. There's a term called undercutting. Undercutting is basically, in case you're unaware of it, basically means, it's like, you know how if you were at an auction and how people bid, okay? The person who is selling their stuff, they want the highest bid. They want the highest number. Well, if it's a service, if someone's like, hey, do my lawn for me, and the person's like, I'll do it for $20, undercutting is when someone purposely bids lower, okay, to do a job. So there's a big thing now which is happening, which is not cool, which is a lot of comedians are undercutting other comedians. And you can do that, but they're doing it at such an extreme rate to where you don't want the standard of excellence, a standard of payment for everybody to think is $20 after 20 months of working on 1 hour of material and finally getting it perfect. You know what I mean? You have to pay like a good amount. So you ask people what their budget is and blah, blah, whatever. But point is, I'm noticing now, and I'm really focusing on the business aspect, because this is my passion. I'm working on doing this forever. In addition to other business endeavors, I do finances and other stuff privately. But I'm really working the business aspect, and I'm learning a lot now that a lot of comics are basically saying that they will do a job for a private company or a party or a private event for less than half the price of what everyone else is charging. So instead of basing everybody off of a fair value and having a video representation of how well someone is doing at making people laugh, like a little demo reel kind of a thing, if they have a private event, whatever, there's this thing that's happening a lot now, which is too many people, quite a few people are that are not good, are selling their price more than their act. And they're selling it at such a low price, people that are like, it's a comedian, whatever, if they're shitty, we can just talk bad about them later. You know what I mean? So, again, that's what this whole channel is about. It's about my learning process, my growth, and my journey on the way to being a professional comedian. You know, there's no such thing as retiring who you are. And that is who I am as a core. I've said it before and I'll say it again, in the most non-prestigious, in the most non-like, bombastic way possible, okay? I'm an Army veteran. I'm a soldier. I'm a warrior, okay? I'm an artist. And there is nothing in life that says you can't be more than one thing. They had a term that used to be called that a long time ago. It's called a Renaissance man. And a Renaissance man was someone like a Leonardo da Vinci, for example, not taking credit, just saying, who was an engineer, a scientist, an artist, and so forth and so on. So I don't really know how or why people got so stuck. Oh, mogul. All right, that's another term. I'm not necessarily trying to be a mogul, okay? But you can be more than one thing in life. And I feel like it's a strange thing when people say, oh, he's a comedian, so that is who he is. Well, maybe he's a hunter. Maybe the order that you think of it is important. So if you are a, fill in the blank, if you're an avid hunter, but maybe you have another role in your life that you're also passionate about, which is, carpentry. Maybe that guy, according to him in his life, he considers himself, even though he's a world-class hunter, he could consider himself a carpenter first. And I think that order that you tell yourself, in all reality, this isn't just some woo-woo psychology stuff, this is in all reality, projects an imprint on everyone else. So when you're talking to them, they know who you are, okay? So, yeah, I mean, that's just me in a nutshell, and the more you listen to me, if you want to, you can just check in and you'll see how I'll be doing and stuff like that. But that's what this whole channel is about. I kind of want to address it because typically I do it while I'm driving and everything, right? But I don't have anywhere to drive and I'm at my house, so it is what it is. And if you're interested in learning more about me, or if you want to just continue to check up, I fully get it. But I try to be as interpersonal as I can and conversate. So if you ever want to email me, talk shit, have me do something like a roast or whatever, the more that I can do, the better. So at this point, I really try to just being as conversational as I can with you, the listener. And conversations work best when they're both ways. One of my biggest inspiration is Bill Burr, because he actually has a podcast where he actually talks to himself. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like being able to carry on a conversation by yourself, being able to explain yourself, especially in comedy, okay, is something that is, it's kind of like a muscle that you learn how to use, and the better you get at it, the less times you're stopping and doing a retake and trying to explain whatever again. So I did a couple of those before. I'm always getting better, but this is not the first take. This is like the fourth take. But the first time, after like 30 seconds, I was like, oh, that's dumb. The second time I was like, what I was saying, and now I remembered it, really. But anyway. But with that being mentioned, why should you listen? That's why you should listen. You should be listening because it's kind of like a series that you can just follow along with. And as things continue to progress forward, not like you're the chosen ones or something like that. I'm just being honest. Like, you can always say, like, oh, yeah, I remember so-and-so. I remember him, back before, he was in California, or before he started doing shows across America, or before he... Some people, take a lot of pride in that. That isn't something that I ever really cared about as far as being the first. But if there's a good story, I mean, I think like you can always pick it up at any point. So that's what this podcast is. I keep saying podcast because it's on YouTube, but it's actually both. And my guests, the guests that I could have, could be you. My guest could be essentially you, the listener. And I would like to divide this show up into different parts where I I ask questions. I do Q&A. If you want to keep it anonymous, keep it anonymous. But anyway, with that being mentioned, if you ever want to email me something, my email is Benja, B-E-N-J-A, Welldone, W-E-L-L-D-O-N-E. It's about enough explaining as far as what this channel is and what this podcast is and everything. And I'm going to go get some food because haven't really eaten all day. That, and because I usually drive, I got the wind going on, something like that. And it's, without exaggeration, it's 105 degrees in my car. 100, being completely honest, if I turn on the AC when I'm not moving and stuff, it makes like a lot of noise, and not trying to do all that. So last thing I'll say is a couple weeks ago I had a huge show. There was a few thousand people. It was an outdoor event. It was amazing. I got to find out what the head count was, what the exact number was, but I can only guess because the show before that had about 1,500 or something, and I think the show had more people. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I hope everybody has a beautiful day. I don't want to have fans. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in having friends. And I don't mean like in the pretentious kind of like, oh, you're so nice. It'd be great to actually have these people know me and have me know you. I think that's really great. So anyway, full authenticity. I feel like authenticity is the most real sensation that people can get, because too many people are fake nowadays. And I don't fake the funk, you know. And you can smell it too. You know when you're hearing something, it's complete like nonsense. So anyway, with that being mentioned, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. I hope everybody has a great week, has a great weekend. I'm Benja Welldone. Keep listening and get ready for my rise, because I got big shit coming. I'm Benja Welldone. Check me out. Peace.